Please let us know your name and where you're joining from in the chat box. It'll be great to understand our audiences better. Please let us know. Great. I can see some responses coming in. Hello, Kritika joining from Kanpur. Hi, Joel from Ernakulam, Kerala. Good to have you here. Hi, Gauri. We see that you've raised your hand. Please do drop your introductions in the chat, or you can use the Q&A box as well. Yeah, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Ananya, and I will be hosting the session on behalf of Simplilearn today. We planned an amazing session for you with an amazing guest as well. So please stay tuned. So before we begin, we have some ground rules for the session that we request everyone to follow. Number one, please drop any questions you have in the Q&A box and not in the chat box. We keep getting a lot of messages in the chat box, so we might end up missing yours. Please use the Q&A box effectively. We will try to answer all your queries during the session or at the end. Secondly, avoid sharing any external links or personal details on the chat box and keep conversations relevant to the topic only. And finally, if you would like an attendance or a participation certificate, please stay tuned in the session till the end. And also give us your full name at the poll that we'll be launching at the end of the webinar. Allow me to quickly introduce Simplilearn as well. At Simplilearn, everything we do revolves around one idea, which is helping professionals build skills that actually move their careers forward. Today's session is also very much part of that mission. Over the years, we worked with millions of learners across the world, in various roles, various industries, and career stages. We have more than 50 partnerships globally. And speaking of partnerships, here is the array of our esteemed partners. The programs that we develop and provide are in association with prestigious institutions such as SP Jain Global School of Management, Purdue University, Michigan Engineering Professional Education, IITM Pravartak, as well as leading global organizations such as Microsoft, Google, and IBM. But what we're really proud of is how our programs have stood out in impacting careers. Our learners have reported an average of 50% salary hike and have also rated our programs more than 4.8 on 5. So with that, I'm going to dive into the session. And I'm going to start with this particular quote, which really frames why we're here today. Finance has changed more in the last 24 months than perhaps in the last 24 years. AI, automation, and new risk dynamics have fundamentally changed how decisions are made at the top. For leaders with experience, the challenge is not just about understanding or learning finance, right? So the challenge is rethinking how you lead, forecast, and create value in this new AI era. So today's session is about unpacking those shifts and understanding what modern finance leadership actually looks like. So in the next 1 hour, we're going to look at how traditional finance roles are being redefined by AI, how AI aids and abets finance leadership, what skills you require as a finance leader, and how the SP Jain's executive program in advanced finance leadership with AI is designed to support you. So with that, I will introduce the speaker for the session. It gives me great pleasure to welcome someone truly accomplished and inspiring, Dr. Arindam Banerjee. Dr. Banerjee is a professor of finance at SP Jain School of Global Management, and he also serves as a program director for the Master of Applied Finance and Wealth Management. His credentials, speak volume about his expertise. Dr. Banerjee is a recipient of several prestigious honors, such as the Outstanding Global Management Researcher Award from AIMS International and the Education 2.0 Outstanding Leadership Award as well. He was also recognized among the top 100 leaders in education by the Global Forum for Education and Learning. With Dr. Banerjee guiding us, I'm confident that we're in excellent hands in this session. Dr. Banerjee, once again, it's absolutely amazing to have you with us. It will be great if you can add on to that introduction and say your hi as well to our participants.
A very good evening to everyone. I hope I'm audible loud and clear to everyone. Uh,
Yes, Professor.
thank you, Ananya ma'am, for giving this wonderful introduction about today's webinar with a conclusion of mine. So that really sets a wonderful tone for this evening. A very good evening to all of you. I can understand whenever these two letters come, AI, it just people get glued to the topic because that's the talking point, whether it's been finance or any other vertical in management, because we are surrounded by artificially intelligent people. I hope during the next 1 hour, in the wake of searching for AI, we don't lose our own intelligence. So please be intelligent enough to stay tuned till the end, ask questions, and keep your curious mind always active and alive, because that's what at the end of the day we are looking for. AI is an enabler, we are the creators. So, Ananya ma'am, thank you once again. Thank you, Simplilearn, for providing this great platform to present on behalf of you and SB Jain. Once again, a good evening to everyone who has tuned in to this webinar. Uh, so let's move on. So, what's our first point in agenda? Let's see. So basically, our first point in the agenda is to understand the evolution of financial leadership, why we need to have this program in the first place. Is there a relevance for you to do this? That's most important. So let's understand why there is a need. Let's understand the three stages in which we have evolved. That is pre-COVID era, during the COVID and following years, and then what we see beyond where we are today. I mean, if you look, I'm pretty old, by the way. Many of you might be very, very young, but I'm pretty old person. Okay, that you can look from my hair. What we have seen a dramatic transformation in the last few years. If you remember the initial slide, what we have seen in the last 2 to 4 years, we might not have seen in the last 24 years, and that's true. But what have we seen? We have seen not a change. We have not seen a transformation. We have seen a tectonic shift in the way things are done. We have seen a disruption, but this disruption has been positive because it has paved way for a lot of interesting elements that we are seeing today. So let's just give you a perspective. So in what's a pre 2020? We call it more of a traditional way of looking at finance. When we say traditional way of looking at finance, finance has always been driven by numbers. There is no doubt about it. And the whole idea of understanding finance is how to convert those raw numbers into information. And that information needs to be used in order to make decisions which are creating value for organization. So what we have seen in the past, we have seen finance primarily was very largely dependent upon relationship driven and process heavy elements. Relationship and process heavy, whether it is financial institutions or it's other banking institutions or any other corporate which are non-banking and financial sector related. So what we have seen the core work in finance basically related to spreadsheet modeling and periodic reporting and you know understanding basically how the cycles of business worked. That's what we have done traditionally. And the pace at which these works were done were relatively slower as what we are going to see in years to come. Then comes the time of the strategic finance, we call it 20 to 24. The COVID basically shook us. It basically told us that if you have not mastered the inner nature of data, you have failed to leapfrog in your business, because every information about your consumers lies inside the data and every data point tells a story. But the way to process that data and understand that data and convert that data into usable information at a pace that happened during this period did improve from the traditional finance, but still was not able to catch up with what we were going to see beyond this period in time. So this was the period where people were reconsolidating their business using basic models of artificial intelligence. It's not that something we are seeing new. They were reconsolidating because they have basically eroded their wealth, and they understood the pace at which they eroded their wealth. If they have to get back their business, they have to move beyond that pace. And that's where the AI augmentation came. And that's where the data-driven decision making augmented by artificially intelligent system came into practice. So what did we see? Primarily from a customer-centric relationship-driven model, AI has brought in the element of not only personalization, but hyper-personalization, which means catering to every customer based on his or her specific needs, whether it is understanding the risk profile, understanding the fraud in the organization, or doing a predictive analysis. No matter whatever you talk about, and in the broader sense of regulation, everything was possible to be hyper personalized. One, because you don't have to do the redundant job manually. Now the very strong models are able to do the same work which 20 people were doing together, that one large language model would do it in a matter of seconds. So what we have seen, which we call the LLMs in technical terms, all those things, but what we have seen models being developed, augmented and assisted by artificial intelligence to do the work, one, much more precisely, much more speedily, and with much more accuracy, if not complete accuracy, as compared to what we have seen pre-2020 and between 20 to 24. That's what has been the change, and that's what the shift that we have seen. So the question that comes next is, why is traditional financial leadership no longer enough? And this is a very interesting one. It's not we are saying that it is redundant. It's not enough. It's not enough. That means we do require the very important elements which are important to build on financial leadership, whether understanding, financial planning and analysis, risk analysis, strategic finance, merger acquisition, no matter what it is. But what is important is now you have to build on the technology platform. And that technology platform is the AI-enabled platform, without which the financial leadership will not be able to compete with the fast-moving competitors, fast-moving peers at which they would be moving globally. So what's in store for us? Let's see what's in store for us. We are talking of the AI revolution. We are talking of the AI revolution. Remember, when we say revolutions like the Industrial Revolution, we are talking of something which is much more beyond our traditional understanding, which is basically moving from a simple model of automation to a model of augmentation. Let me give you certain examples. Let me give you some examples. You're a bank, and in a bank, primarily, you are able to understand whether a person would be able to be given a loan depends on certain question and answer format and a document which we term as the Know Your Customer document, KYC. So you make the person fill that document and you ensure that a score is being created. And then based on that, you give a proposal to the bank and the bank disburses that loan. Imagine you have a system which basically, without the person visiting you or without you physically interacting with the person, if the entire exercise can be done on a platform within seconds, the redundant job or the manual job of understanding the client's risk profile is done at a much faster rate. As a result, much more customers are catered to, eventually leading to a high ROI in your business or return on investment on your business. So what augmentation has done today, augmentation has basically helped you to not only bring the systems, processes in place, but also to align the systems and processes with increasing your ROI. Now, this ROI not only increases your own ROI of your involvement in the company, but also overall impacting on the business's ROI. Additionally, we are looking at systems which can help predictions at a much accurate level. When we say predictions, how predictions are done? Earlier, we used to have a set of data, and that data used to be a benchmark for relating to the future. Today, we not only have the data points, we have multiple data points which are aligned to specific scenarios. Example, you are entering into a shop, and the shop can tell you based on your past 100 transactions in that particular shop, which is the first good you are going to purchase and going to direct you to an offer which is related to that particular shop. A simple example, when you browse through your YouTube videos, over a period of time, you tend to see those videos which you actually want to see. That's the predictive analysis that we are talking about. We are talking of predictive analysis. We are talking of scenario engines. That means itself, the model will create several simulations for you and provide you with the best alternative solution, which you had to do it for us. Today, you don't have to go through documents. Many places, you don't have to go through documents to figure out where the fault lies. The anomaly detection system or the fraud detection system, using the artificial intelligence models, are able to detect fraud at a much faster rate as compared to what it used to be. So no matter whatever platform that you're looking for, whatever element you're looking for, whether return on investment, accuracy of the work, predictive analysis, creating multiple scenarios, detecting anomalies in the business, AI is omnipresent, and AI is helping you to save your time, energy, and cost and reinvest that into doing much better productive work and hence scaling up your business at a much faster pace. So let's see what's beyond this.
Professor, allow me to interject with a question here.
Please.
So when we discuss about AI, we talk about AI's implication across various industries, and we, correlate it with efficiency, right, in terms of time saved or cost saved. But when it comes to finance and finance leadership, do you think like AI has a lot of strategic, implications as well, like in terms of financial strategy? Where do you see AI playing a role there?
So let me give you an understanding. So AI is an enabler. AI is an enabler. What does it enable? It enables you to become more proficient in your work and translate that proficiency into organizational proficiency. So let me give you an example. I'm giving you a classic example. JP Morgan introduced a couple of years back an artificial intelligence system called contract intelligence. Contract JP Morgan, the investment bank JP Morgan, contract intelligence. Now, what it does, it basically uses a language processing model and an AI model to review its commercial loan agreements and extract basically key terms which are very important in disbursing the loan. Okay. So this, if you are working on a loan disbursement, it typically used to take the entire exercise of looking into the document, extracting the terms, used to take somewhere around 170 to 200 hours to do that task. With artificial intelligence being brought into place, this work was done in 2 hours and 35 minutes with the accuracy level of around 85%. Now that's a catch. What is the human's role in this who used to do it manually? Their role is now of a validator of that report. They are going to validate that report, because still now, not every AI model is free from hallucination. It's not free from it. So there will be elements of noise in the model. So that will be validated. That validation is not going to take 100 more hours. Now what happens? This results in a higher ROI, because you are able to save time, you are able to cater to more clients, and you are able to bring more smiles to the customer. Now the question is the organization ready to look into this element as a cost-saving element? Remember, AI's involvement and AI's introduction in an organization is not a tactical decision. It is a strategic decision because it involves high cost. And its return is not going to come over the weekend. It's going to come over a period of time. So organizations who has the vision of aligning their future with the growth in the business and knowing that what the future holds for them is going to introduce AI into their business model, in spite of the fact it might not be immediately cost effective, but over the long run, it's going to bring a lot of cost saving for them. So it is not
That's very
something
well
for
put, Dr.
it is
Banerjee.
not
Thank you.
something for the faint-hearted. Just to give you an example, if you are, just don't take me otherwise, if you are a small-time business owner with 5 employees with a 10 crore turnover, as compared to somebody with 20 branches with a 20x turnover, it would be much more advisable for the one which is latter to take a strategic decision to implement AI, because they are going to see the result of AI's implication on ROI much faster than the former. So this, unless there is a strategic buy-in, AI doesn't come in, at least at the organization level. It can come at your own personal level. You might have a chat GPT on your desktop, but that might not be institutionally driven.
Right. And how do you see various industries adopting, the advent of AI? Maybe like, if you can take us through some adoption trends that you've observed, that'll be great.
Absolutely. Adoption trend, let me tell you, adoption trend is very high. The maximum we have seen, of course, in banking and financial services industry and in organization across, especially in the finance vertical. I mean, to be very honest, AI is like oxygen. You don't actually go to a place to take in oxygen. Wherever you go, you automatically take in oxygen. So what is AI? I mean, to be very honest, when you enter the hospital, you take a ticket from the queue system, which is an AI-enabled system. Basically, when they call you to administer the first dose of injection, that's an AI-driven system. Okay, when the doctor treats you today, it has gone to such an extent where AI-driven models are basically performing surgeries across. Okay, surgeries are done by AI models. A robotic model is nothing but an AI-driven model. Anything which doesn't involve you or me is artificial. So wherever you see this happening, I live in Dubai. So in my place where I live, the police station doesn't have any personnel. There is no human being in the police station. It's called a smart police station, SPS. It's entirely driven from taking an FIR report to solving a problem. It's completely driven by automated system. In a place where I live, we have deliveries which are being delivered. We have grocery deliveries which are delivered by robot. So it's a company called Talabot. So Talabat is a company, and the robot that delivers food is called Talabot. So robots come and deliver goods, which is bread or butter, whatever you order for. It's a robot, artificial intelligence. So if you see, I mean, every industry, whether it is industry which is very much in financial services, banking, or non-banking financial services. Adoption, education industry is one of the foremost adapters. Simply learn what we are doing. The way we are talking now, I may not have been present here, but my avatar could have been there. That's an AI driven model. Today, if you look at the online learning platforms, which are basically not, which are virtual in nature, pre-recorded, like we call them the MOOCs, massive online open courses, they're all as a result of artificial intelligence today. So artificial intelligence is across industries, and it is going to be much more inclusive, much more penetrative. And there, except for some very personalized, extremely personalized, sectors which may not be as scaled as others, there would be much more scaling up of AI. There can be certain industries like personal counseling. You would like to hear a person. You don't like a robot to tell you when you feel depressed. So in those kind of industries, you might not see AI as much as today, as much we see in other industries. But in organizations, in industries across, whether it is healthcare, FMCG, education, or banking and financial services, it's across. There is nothing which we can think where AI is not there. Even in legal system, we have AI today. We can give examples. Legal system. So that's it. I mean, you can see that. I mean, industry trends. I mean, you are right. So, 99% of financial services, of course, they are big time users of AI because they are massive in, and we also know. Remember, we are only talking when we are still seeing AI at a nascent stage. AI has not even peaked. AI is a very nascent stage, by the way. It's not even peaked. So just to let you know, today we have systems in universities where a student can get completely trained how to sit for an interview on a hyper personalized basis based on platforms which are created by universities, which can train them just like anybody would go and pay $1,000 to get himself or herself trained in how to sit for an interview. And this is a complete interactive AI model where they would train on personality, about the company, about questions, everything what you can think of, they would train you. So it's omnipresent. I mean, I don't think so. You can escape the presence of AI from anywhere. You cannot. Yes, this is something which I would say very important. But more importantly, there are two kinds of competencies which you require when you see a tectonic shift, when you see a transformation in the industry. One is definitely the skills which relate to the subject matter, which we are seeing here. You need to have a mastery over that. You need to understand the architecture, so on and so forth. But the more important skill is, do you have the capacity to adapt to the change? Do you have a mindset to reimagine that what you learned is not enough? That's the most important thing. You may be doing well in your organization, but trust me, someone is going to definitely come a year down the line and replace you. What does it mean? Is your job at threat? No, your job is not at threat. But if you do not reskill and upskill, it is definitely at threat. Definitely at threat. There is absolutely no doubt about it. People keep asking, so many jobs are being lost because of AI, but nobody speaks. So many jobs have been created because of AI. And that's very important. If you are not able to reskill, not adapt to the requirement of your industry in terms of AI, then definitely you are at threat. But if you are, then definitely you are not at threat. You are at competition. There is a difference between being at threat and being at competition. If I am ready for the future, I'm always at competition and I'll compete. But if you're not ready for it, you are redundant. So the competencies that are required, and this program specifically is designed keeping in mind what are the competencies that will keep yourself foolproof and weatherproof against the changing weather of AI in the future. So what are the things? These are some of the basic things, basically. But I mean, to be very honest, the the program goes much deeper. I mean, this is just a nutshell because it's a webinar. It's much more deeper than what you see. Basically, the program, I mean, finance leadership is all about, in one line, I would tell you, finance leadership is all about being prepared for the unprepared. Being prepared for the unprepared. So how do you prepare yourself? You know, it's a simple thing. The first thing is stress test. What is stress test? I mean, I'll give you a classic example. What is stress test? One of the greatest fighters in the world has been Muhammad Ali. So Muhammad Ali has been the legend in boxing. So when Muhammad Ali was asked how many push-ups you do, he said, I do around 200. He said, just 200? I do around 500. He said, no, I start counting when my stomach pains. Till the time my stomach pains, I don't count. So I might have done 1,500 till the time my stomach pains. So that's called stress test. Stress test means you try to put yourself to an extreme situation till the time you break. For that, you try to understand how long you can survive. And that's what AI does wonderfully well. AI creates simulated models, a lot of simulated models. Monte Carlo is an example which we have in the program. Monte Carlo is an example where you create a lot of scenarios and simulated scenarios where you try to understand what is the maximum level at which you can perform at your peak. And when you do that, you are never under optimized. You are always optimized. Similarly, improve forecast precisions. We are talking of predictive analysis, predicting the cash flows. How do you predict? Prediction is simple, but predicting under different conditions, conditions of severity is not the same. So again, when you have an AI model, a language model with millions and billions of data points working together, you will be able to understand under thousands of scenarios which scenario works best for you and which works worst for you, and then you can work accordingly. Remember, decision has to be taken by the human being, but the conditions of decision making will be done by AI system. Similarly, detect risk. It's a very important area. Risk detection has become one of the most favored AI areas because AI is able to detect the data points, the good data, separate the good data from the bad data. It's very important. Data is just a number, but how to understand a good data from a bad data is by looking into trends. It's looking into trends. You have to understand. I'll give you a simple example. I'm a buff of a movie. So yesterday I was watching this movie which just recently got released called Taskari. And a fantastic thing came about how AI system was used to detect one particular element. So there was a passenger, lady passenger, without being gender biased. There's a lady passenger who travels at least 15 times a month abroad. But what it does, it's very good. It's a rich person's wife. But then the data analyst found that every time the person is coming to India, landing in a different airport, but from that airport going to Mumbai. Now, I don't want to get into the details because they were using a particular loophole in the aviation sector to smuggle gold. Because when you come from domestic to domestic, basically your checking doesn't happen to the extent when you come from international to national. So you watch, I'm not going to be a spoiler in the movie, but they found out through data system, and this is live actually. They found through data, AI-enabled data system, they found that they track the pattern. So what it does, risk detection is basically detecting patterns in the data and separating the good data from the bad. Of course, there are models. Finally, optimizing. It's all about optimization. Like we have 1 hour. In 1 hour, we can speak of one slide, or 1 hour, we can speak of all the 30 slides. What's the best way to do? We have to optimize. Imagine if there was a system that after every 20 seconds, it pops up and says, your time is over for this. Whatever you are speaking is not relevant. The day will come when that will also come, that whatever we are speaking, they will say what is relevant, what is not relevant. That's called AI-enabled system, because what they're doing, they're trying to understand from past historical examples what is relevant, what is not relevant. So that's the power of AI. It basically tells you to be relevant, to be focused, and to come out with solutions which humans can do, but it takes a lot more time. Okay, so that's the understanding. Now coming to the program, which is a specific program. This program is basically a very focused, personalized program. Though it is an open program, but I would say this program's design is meant to cater to the vast majority of professionals who are doing very well today. But trust me, what you are doing now will get obsolete in years to come, because the kinds of models that you are going to use, you have to learn now. If you do not, as I told you, you will not be in competition, you will be in threat. And that's very important. And that's very important. So it's very important that we understand what this basically program teaches and who teaches this program. This is a partnership of two of the most known brands in education sector. It's undoubtedly SP Jain and Simplilearn. I would say it's a merger of equal thoughts, the merger of equal thoughts in terms of both are very focused on creating the right people for the corporate of tomorrow, the right appropriate people. So therefore, we call it the world-class academy, apart from the fact that we basically are looking into this program with a certification coming from SP Jain. I represent SP Jain as a professor and a director of a program associated with SP Jain for the last 18 years. Similarly, Arindam ma'am represents Simplilearn for a pretty decent time. Why this curriculum? This curriculum, when I take you through this curriculum, you'll understand this is exactly the curriculum that the industry is looking for. And it comes with a campus immersion, which is an added benefit to the program. Let's get into a little more details of the program. So there are 6 modules of the program. And this is very important, the 6 modules of a program. And I'll just tell you what the 6 modules are all about. The first module, if you see, the first module is about the strategic financial leadership in the age of AI. This basically introduces you to the relevance of this, that why AI for people in finance who are looking for leadership positions becomes so important. And what are the elements that they need to understand in order to be future ready in the world of finance? Okay, so it takes you through the evolution of the business from financial leadership to strategic financial leadership, and basically helps you to navigate through the digital disruption in the business, the digital disruption that we have seen. So you will learn things like Harvard's balanced scorecard model of creating value, and you are going to learn elements of cases which are like CFO-led transformational cases in GE. These kind of things you are going to learn. Now let's come to the next module. The advanced FP&A stands for Financial Planning and Analysis. So what this module is all about? This module is basically all about predictive analysis and financial dashboards, scenario analysis, model building, and basically hands-on exercises which you are going to work on during your program. What are the skills that you are going to learn? Power BI, Tableau, Excels, and all those things that you are going to learn in this particular module. The third module is decision making in the corporate sector. As you can see, this is all about how financial decisions are taken, whether it is a project related decisions, whether are day-to-day decisions in terms of net present value calculation, IRR calculation, DCF valuation. So basically, this is all about how decisions are being taken using valuation techniques and valuation tools. Module number 4 is all about risk management, an extremely important element of risk, which now brings us to the module of how you as a finance manager is going to navigate through the uncertain future of tomorrow. Uncertainties of tomorrow. So what are the uncertainties? Uncertainties can be both systemic uncertainty and unsystemic uncertainty. And how do you navigate them? You basically navigate through prediction. Prediction based on past data and accuracy of the data. So this is all about module 4. Module 5 takes you through treasury, liquidity, and working capital management. So what's the difference between model number 3 and model number 5? Module number 3 relates to more of strategic decision making in the long term, whether module number 5 looks into the day-to-day management of operational efficiency within the organization. When we say operational efficiency, we are talking of treasury, we are talking of working capital, we are talking of how AI can be leveraged on to manage cash flow, optimize your liquidity, optimize and automate your forest risk, and how to remain relevant in the global context. So that's what your module number 5. So from local to global, from tactical to strategic, from ongoing risk management to long-term predictive models. So basically it covers almost all before we move on to module 6. Module 6 is, I won't say it's very hardcore finance related, but this is what is related to what a leader is all about. So leading the digital financial transformation. This model helps you to understand the way by which you as a leader is going to create and lead and sustain a team who basically are champions in leading AI transformation. They have to share the same vision and the goal with you as well as the organization. So basically, this is more of a leadership module, which finds its place in the program because this is a leadership program. This is not something to make you a better finance manager. It is a program to eventually take you to the leadership position in finance. And that's why this module finds its place as the last, followed by a capstone. A capstone is hands-on, where you apply the modules from 1 to 5, as well as 6, and that's what a capstone is all about. So capstone, hands-on, practical, application-oriented project, mentored by SP Jain, and mentees are you. And you are going to apply the concepts, and finally, with a given question, given problem, given issue, you are going to apply what you have learned in the 5 modules plus 1 and find multiple solutions on that particular problem. So that's exactly how this particular program revolves around. And this program basically is of 6 months duration, which is done over a period of online mode and also an immersion in the campus. So what you will learn in this, so as this is an AI-driven program, so of course you will learn AI, machine learning, you will learn predictive analysis, you will learn strategic finance, and of course you will learn leadership and change. So that's all. So it's a combination. I would say it's a very high-powered leadership program, which is very focused towards finance, with the enabler being AI. So you can understand how focused and how hyper-personalized this program is. So that's what the program revolves around. And basically now, for whom this program is. I think if I was there in place of Ananya ma'am, I wouldn't have written this. I would have said anyone who really aspires to be a financial leader. Anyone who has the aspirations to be there. And aspirations cannot have some key parameters. Aspiration can be anyone, of course. The program has certain requirements, and the requirement is to be part of the program, you have to have certain years of experience. You know why? For a simple reason. We are not trying to say anybody with less than 7 years doesn't understand, but to understand the depth of the program and to understand and then apply requires certain prerequisite skill sets, which we believe can only come when you have spent certain number of years in an organization. Okay, of course, current or aspiring leaders, and we have certified professionals like the chartered accountants, like certified public accountants, chartered financial analysts, and chartered institute of management accountants who are seeking a differentiation to the AI. So just to let you know, CA, CPA, CFA, and CIMA, they're global qualification, but I give you a homework. Some of you might be already qualified in this. How much of AI adoption they have done in their program? Just to give you an answer, CFA, which is considered to be the gold standard in investment analysis, has just one small element of introduction to Python in their program. So you can understand educational institutions who are offering even the best programs are still not in line with the kind of emphasis that is required to be given in AI. And I do not blame anybody on that, because it takes time. Curriculum development happens over time. The problem is, unfortunate part is, the pace at which AI has penetrated our life, we never imagined that to happen. We never imagined that to happen. So that has happened. So things are happening slowly. So, I mean, this is the kind of, and the reason this program is all about being focused, not being generic. Finally, why you should choose SP Jain Global? I mean, we are good. We are pretty good. We are across the globe. 20 years back when we started, it's a little 1 minute introduction. 20 years back when we started in Dubai, and now 20 years we are in Dubai, Singapore, Australia, London, California, US, and 2 campuses in India, in Bombay, one in Wadala and one in Kurla. So that's what has been our journey so far. And we have only been able to sustain the huge competition in the education industry because of quality. Education is all about quality. It is a service. If the quality fails, you don't create a mark in the industry. So that's been our story. And I would very happily at this point leave the rest of the, of course, I think I have to go through one more slide. I will be very happy. The next one, immediate career outcomes. Yes, of course. So see, I do not know what others say, but you have to only hunt for a job when you are uneducated. If you're educated, the industry hunts for you. It's as simple as that. Industry hunts for you. And today, everybody is watching what you're doing. If you are prepared with the right level of skills, hard and soft, it's only a matter of time that you make it to the cut. But if you're not prepared means you are not prepared with the skills. No matter how much you try, it will be a struggle throughout. So the career outcomes would be an outcome of what you learn in the program, not because you carry a certificate with you. Certificate doesn't give you a job. Your knowledge gives you a job. Certificate only gives you an opportunity to meet somebody who has a job in hand and can offer you. But eventually, to crack that job, the education comes handy. So at this stage, I would take a pause and request Ananya ma'am, who has been wonderful throughout, to take us through the rest of the slides.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Banerjee, for taking us through all the details of the program. I will just take just few more minutes to share further details of the program. The fee for Indian learners, for those who are interested, the fee is 2,95,000, which is including taxes, and with monthly installments starting from just 13,208. What this entails is 6 months of live online and interactive learning from global faculty, as Dr. Banerjee has taken us through. It also includes an access to learn and master 10 plus trending AI tools, SP Jain executive certificate upon completion, along with certain alumni benefits as well. And this also includes Simplilearn's job assist support. And we have the next cohort starting on the 8th of February, which will go on till the 26th of August. For more details on the program, you can scan the QR on the screen, or click on the link that I am going to be sharing on the chat right now. Um, so yes, if you are aspiring to take on leadership positions like becoming a CFO, if you're looking to drive digital transformation in finance in your organization, or if you want to simply differentiate your profile and capabilities with AI, then this program is specifically designed for you. With that, I'm going to launch a poll to take your interest in enrolling in the program. Please drop in your answers now. Even if you have any queries, you need more details, or you're a little unsure, you can click on yes. Our expert advisor will be getting in touch with you in the next 24 to 48 working hours, and they will completely guide you forward with regards to admission, or with regards to any questions you have about your eligibility to the program, etc. Right. So while we wait for the interests to come in, Dr. Banerjee, maybe we can take a couple of questions that have come from our audiences. So this is the question number one. For someone in a senior finance role today, if they want to implement AI tools, or like AI frameworks thinking across their division or across their team, where would you suggest starting, without overwhelming the team, or overwhelming the organization?
Very simple. I mean, I do not know the specifics of the organization, but irrespective of that, one needs to prioritize. You cannot start everywhere. One needs to prioritize, which means prioritize based on two things: increase revenue and reduction cost. That's all we understand. So if the organization's various departments are interlinked and works together, it can implement a system which can basically use the advantage of leveraging on one another. And if not, the prioritization is very important. And when I say priority, what comes first? So creating those parameters of number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and accordingly. Because remember, AI has a cost implication. So one has to first test not only the usage of AI, but how people are reacting and responding to the adoption of AI. Not everybody will be very happy and be very, I would say, gung ho about usage of AI. So I think it should be done, because AI might always give, remember, you're organized, you are a finance leader, but you're a leader. Remember, AI is a tool. AI is a tool, but eventually the tool is in the hands of people. You cannot annoy people by using something which is in the best interest for the organization. So that has to be very clear. So start with a pilot, start with a priority, look into the cost, look into the revenue generation, ROI element, and accordingly, the outcome of this exercise would give you the answers for the rest.
Thank you, Dr. Banerjee. So we have gotten quite a lot of interest to enroll in the program, so I'm going to close that poll now. And we know that many of you might be eager to know about the attendance certificate as well. So I will be launching another poll where you can enter your full name. We will be able to generate the certificate and share with you on email within the next 48 working hours. Meanwhile, Dr. Banerjee, maybe we can take this last question before we
I
close
don't
the
mind at all.
session.
I don't mind at all.
Yes. Great. So, okay, this is actually directed at you specifically. So, how do you personally stay relevant and, in trend as a finance leader, as a finance educator?
Me, I mean, to be very honest, let me give you an understanding. I'm a professor, so I have recently launched a program which is India's only program in wealth management. So I have recently launched a 1-year master's program. It's a full-time program, campus-based program in Dubai and Dubai in India. It's called the Master of Applied Finance and Wealth Management. We have ensured that in every element of the program, if someone is aspiring to be a wealth manager, the person when he graduates has to be well informed and well accustomed with the AI enablement in wealth management. So we have introduced subjects like robo advisory. Robo advisory is where you don't have an advisor, you have a robot to advise you. And by the way, it's not just a name. There are specialized companies in the world who only does robo advisory. Okay. Fintech adoption across the board. So now this is for the program. I, as an instructor, I teach valuation, I teach corporate finance, and I understand very well. If I am not bringing in elements of AI in my models of valuation, I will have no interest of students coming tomorrow into my class. So for us, who is the end product? The student. To whom the student is the end product? To the company. What the company is looking for is what I have to give them. So for me to be, for the students to be relevant, I have to be relevant. So continuously adapting to the changes, but not at the pace at which the organizations are doing, because our cycle time is much longer than organizations. So therefore it takes time. So we also have to be relevant. We cannot be outdated. And unfortunately, many places, educational curriculum are pretty chalk and talk, pretty outdated. But I think people are catching up. So that's on my take. I mean,
Great.
we though
That's
we are
very,
professors,
very
we are
well
though we
put.
are professors, we are not weatherproof. Huh? We are not weatherproof. So we are all very much, I would say, prone, and we are very much, how to put it across, we can be out of business at any point in time if we do not keep in alignment with the trends in the business, trends in the market. Students would throw us out of the
Right.
class. They know much before. Today, before we even speak, ChatGPT tells them the answer. So you can understand. So that's it from my answer.
Uh, Thank you for, such a grounded answer, Dr. Banerjee. We have one more question that just came in. I
Yes.
will
Okay, no problem.
stop the poll right now, and we can just take this question. This seems to be someone, who's seeking a little bit of a personalized advice. Like this person has 4 years of experience in FP&A, followed by 3 years in strategy, and they, are looking to get into corporate finance role and work more in depth with finance rather than with of finance. So, will this course help them, to get better equipped for a role like that?
Well, this is a good question, but because of paucity of time, I cannot take a follow-up question. Corporate finance is a big role. Corporate finance is deals with M&A, corporate finance deals with valuation, corporate finance deals with strategic decision making. So if you see the modules, this is exactly the point. If you see the modules, the module number three, which is on valuation, NPV, IRR, the module number 4, which is on risk analysis, valuation, these are all corporate finance. This is all corporate finance role and how corporate finance departments are adapting to the AI enablement. So very much corporate finance oriented this is. But I do not know whether the work experience part is being catered to, because our program requires a work experience which is big. It's a bit more than what we have now, I believe. So that Ananda ma'am can answer. But yes, if you are seeking for corporate finance, I can tell you with all honesty, this program is going to be a wonderful learning experience and with outcome driven experience for you. That I can tell you for sure. No doubt about it. By the way, I am a professor of corporate finance, so I teach corporate finance till PhD level. So that's what I do. I teach valuation,
Okay.
mainly I teach M&A and valuation is what I teach actually.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Banerjee. I hope that answered your question. If you still have more queries, please, feel free to let us know. And we'd be happy to get in touch with you and have like, more in-depth conversation to understand, your expertise, your, whether how we can take this forward with regards to the program. Thank you so much. So with that, everyone, we're wrapping up the session. If anyone has any question that we were not able to address or you want to share some feedback, please write to us at webinars@simplilearn.net. And Dr. Banerjee, thank you so much for your guidance and sharing your knowledge. It was a very, very insightful session. It's personally been a pleasure hosting you. Do you have any final remarks to share? Any advice for the learners?
It's irrespective of SPGen or Simplilearn. Let me tell you, if we think that AI is not going to affect us as finance professionals, we are simply living in a fool's paradise. And the interesting part is there is AI all over the social media, in the internet, but there are few which is curated like the ones we have done here to cater to the specific needs of people who want to become finance leaders. A lot of time took, for us to develop this and to understand exactly those verticals which are the major pain points we are going to see in tomorrow's world. So I would like people to go through the details of what goes in the program rather than the name. And I'll be very much happy to come at any point to answer queries of people through Simplilearn. I'll be more than happy to answer and take the discussion forward. But do learn.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Banerjee. Like with that words of wisdom, we'll wrap up the session. To all the participants as well, thank you very much for spending your last hour with us. We hope you'll be able to apply the learnings of the session as well as what you'll get from our Finance Leadership with AI program to get ahead